We're on the same time, right? 8:30?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Not like not a
Mm,
big time zone guy.
It's okay, bro. It's our time now. It's our time now.
This is our time zone. Okay.
Welcome to Crosstown Cardboard episode 114. We're calling this one Hobbying Around the Country because my good friend Craig at New York City Sports Cards, the math teacher, the soccer coach in New York City, has been, of course, to a show in New York, in Chicago for the National, in Texas. He's been to a shop, and he's got a shop upcoming in his trip to Florida as he always plans out these locations so well to mix business and pleasure. I've been to two card shows in South Carolina, setting up as a dealer, and one card show in Georgia just this last weekend, which is why, if you're watching on the YouTube, I'm wearing my Masters hat, my Masters shirt, because I went to the location of the Masters at the Augusta, Georgia Card Fest. So we'll get into that, but let me toss it to the actual master himself, the podcast pro,
Oh,
Craig,
yes.
because Craig, when I
Master.
heard you still got it. Still got it. Because I heard you, Craig, on Big Ken's podcast, Sports Card Lessons, and it just reinvigorated me when you were talking about your success at the National, the good time, the people, the cards you picked up. And I said, this guy's got a talent. We got to get him back on the mic. So, Craig, what's going on in your world? And then we'll jump into a little bit more on the cards all around the world.
Shout out to you, first of all, because I see you out there winning awards. I've been saying for a while, you're him when it comes to your line of work. So you got the sauce right now. So keep it going.
Thanks, bro.
Yes.
Trying.
But yeah, National, you were obviously missed, but it was just such a fun week as it always is. How could it not be? 4 weeks of networking, hanging with friends, seeing athletes, and mostly just like looking at and dealing with cards for hours on end. So much to talk about. I had National pretty much planned since April, and I had a pretty unique schedule, and it was pretty fun to see the exact plan like fall into place, the way it was laid out. I saw a good friend from college. I got dinner with Ken, made some
Hmm.
great deals, went to the SoCo event, and to see everything, execute as intended. And of course, have so many stories, make a lot of deals, and just have fun mostly for 4 days. It was a great week. I have quite literally zero complaints. So excited to get into it. Sorry to rub it in.
No, not at all. I am very excited. I've been consuming a lot of content. Instead of going to the National, I went to Toronto with my mom. We went up in the CN Tower. We did everything in Toronto. Didn't see Drake, but the weekend was performing. So close call with him. We went to Niagara Falls. We went to Buffalo. We tried three different buffalo wing places. I think personally, Doc Sullivan's was my favorite with the beef on weck wing. So anybody comment on YouTube or podcast if you have a favorite in Buffalo. That might be a hot take. I'm not sure. Yes. Do you have a favorite, Craig?
Well, I went to Bar Bill's and it was exceptional.
Ah,
That was
yes.
the only location I went to. And my hot take is that I wasn't a fan of the beef on weck. I didn't get the hype.
Mm,
And I'm a big foodie, but we could talk about that another time. But
yeah. Well,
there's
Doc
my food hot
Sullivan's,
take.
you might have liked the Doc Sullivan's one. That's the Bar Bill was the only place I didn't get to go to that I wanted to because it was packed. So, and then I realized it's Wing Wednesday. No wonder it's packed. So,
Yes, of course.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that made sense. But let's get back to today, Craig, because I wanted to talk about your first team all national because that was one of the biggest things I missed was our hanging around and getting to share hilarious stories or deals or people we ran into. And I got a good amount of your recap on Ken's podcast, Sports Card Lessons, but I really wanted to get more specific for us with the first team all national. And first question, did Emmitt Smith make the cut?
Emmitt Smith did in fact make the cut. You're good. You're good.
All
But
right.
because that wasn't directly card related, I wasn't going to start with him. But
Okay.
I can't wait to talk about this. This is good stuff.
Go for it.
We're not going to chronological order because we will discuss Fanatics Fest, but National is still relatively fresh, so let's get into it. My first team, all national, as we do every year. Strong candidates this year. First selection is the really nice old couple from Arkansas.
Okay. Woo Pig Suey.
So I was walking around National looking at cards as we do. And there's other booths there with maybe memorabilia, apparel, jerseys, etc. This table I went to of the sweet old Arkansas couple was only a card table, right? Typical showcases, you're looking through, yada, yada, yada. They had
Hmm.
one single signed jersey just hanging up behind them. And who was it? Of course, Jalen Brunson in a Knicks uniform, as you see pictured there. What are the chances? This sweet old couple from
I know.
Arkansas, one uniform, and it was Jalen Brunson. It was signed. It had the PSA or was that JSA certification. I've got the certification card right next to me,
Nice.
so it's legit. And again, only at the National do you make super obscure trades. So here's what I offered them. It was a Don Mattingly autograph card out of 25 in gold ink from Tier 1, and it was an Anthony Hardaway 94 finest in-person signature, PSA, just authentic, and $100, and they took the deal. So fun deal. I ended up with a Brunson signed jersey, and they were so nice about it. It was such a random occurrence. So that is why the nice old Arkansas couple received the first team selection.
So what made them so nice, Craig? Just easy to deal with, down to earth.
Yeah, just you're rural, in middle of country, just sweet as could be. Where I'm a little more like I guess you could say rugged, New York City, fast paced, and like being with them was just like calming. So yeah, they were awesome.
Oh, that's great. Are you gonna frame that?
At some point, it's gonna hang in my closet. You got a baby coming here, so I don't know how much more space we could take up.
Right, right,
Yeah.
right. Okay.
Okay.
Well, nice. Okay, that's the first one.
So second team All National, since you spoiled it already.
No, first team. Don't diminish
First
them.
team, second selection in the first team All National is NFL all-time rushing leader Emmitt Smith. I can make this story relatively short, but we ate at Gibson's the Wednesday night. Me, Ken, and another buddy, as one does when they're in Rosemont. Ken made
Yes.
the reservation a couple months ago, and Emmitt Smith was there the same time we were, and my boy was having a good time. He used the bathroom, I think I want to say over 5 times. So obviously he was enjoying himself a little bit, hitting the bar. And there was a funny story because at one point he walked right past us and he was trying to go to the bathroom and it was a crowded area and he couldn't really get through and he was right next to me. I'm like, yo, Emmett, let me know if you need me to block for you. And he got a kick out of that. So uh, honorary mention is also Ray Lewis who was there, and it was fun to see Emmitt Smith and Ray Lewis embracing. Like, they didn't know
Wow.
one another was going to be there.
Yeah.
So yeah, Emmitt Smith was life of the party. Had a fun little interaction with him, so he is very deserving.
Wow. I'm glad Ray Lewis didn't try to take Emmitt Smith down because,
Yeah.
he's a tackle machine. What was Ray Lewis looking like? Was he still beefed up?
Yeah, he can go out there and make a couple tackles, no doubt.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Third team selection. I feel really good about this one. Is George from the New York Knicks group, which you probably don't even know because you barely follow it, but
Hey.
he's Patrick Ewing collectibles underscore 33 on Instagram. George, by the way of Australia, originally from Greece. And I've been talking to George for the last 2 years pretty consistently because what he does is he is the biggest Patrick Ewing autograph collector in the world.
Wow.
He has sent in hundreds of autographs for Patrick Ewing to get signed, a lot of like cards and such, and he has someone who, he gets him sent over when Patrick Ewing does private signings, and he gets the cards back. So me and George got to meet up. We had a great time. We walked the floor for a couple hours. He was there when I got the Brunson uniform, and unbelievable what this hobby, the kind of connections it makes. Me and George talking for 2 years over Instagram. He flies all the way from Australia. He ended up coming to New York for the first time. First stop was at National, and getting to hang with him for 2 hours. We both made some deals on the floor and just kind of, talk about life. It was a special moment.
That's great. And I wanted to say, because George is such a big Patrick Ewing collector, I'm going to be revealing my favorite PC card
Talk to
yet
me.
of my favorite player, which of course is Larry Bird, but not yet. That's just a quick tease. And I want to just say that I know George as well, Craig, even though I'm not as active in the New York Knicks group chat. He has been sharing Patrick Ewing cards with me like directly because he knows that I'm not sure if is he a listener of the podcast?
I'm not sure, but I did mention you, and he knew the buyer of your flawless patch auto that you sent in.
Ah, okay,
Yeah,
yes. He's also foreign. He's a foreign guy. I think he's in Europe though.
could
But
be.
anyway, yeah, we were talking about that. But look at me and George's conversation history here with all he sent me so many, which is great when somebody's so excited and they know you have a similar interest. of course, being a Knicks fan,
Yeah.
he sends me like a bunch of his, maybe he has like a list, like a mailing list whenever he gets a new Ewing PC card and he just sends it out and is like everybody's celebrating with him. But I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
How was the time hanging out?
Great. We just, he the dude is sharp, full energy, family man, and we just had a great time talking Knicks, talking life, and each finding things, that we like. Like during our pursuit together, he picked up two new Patrick Ewing autographs.
Wow.
I picked up the Brunson jersey. He was with me for the Arkansas couple. And
Okay.
then for like 20 minutes, he's like, I know I saw this Brunson you might like at this table. So we ended up making our way to that table. There was no Brunson, but coincidentally at that same table, just like hidden in the mix was a super cool John Stark's finest moments, the dunk autograph.
Oh, that's
So,
awesome.
dude, amazing card. Look at this.
Wow.
Super cool card
What year is
from
that?
99 2000 finest.
And it came autographed?
Yeah. In
Wow.
pack pulled.
That's a
Fi-
great card.
Yeah. So, talk about cool to cost ratio. Guess the price. I think it's gonna be more than you
Well,
think.
first of all, for our non-Knicks fans, the dunk, of course, is when John Starks went baseline, left hand jammed it over really Horace Grant. Shout out to the Clemson area, a former Clemson Tiger. I met Horace Grant, actually interviewed him. And Michael Jordan was somewhat in the frame. If you watch the clip, of course, he didn't really dunk on Michael Jordan,
Yeah.
but the photo is a little deceiving that it makes it look like he dunked on both of them.
And that's why Jordan's not in the photo here.
Oh, okay.
Horace Grant. But yeah.
Yeah. So is it numbered? Let me guess.
No. It is not numbered, but it's pretty rare. Like these don't pop up a lot.
All right. I'm gonna say $60.
140.
Okay.
And they regularly go for 175.
That's what it should be. I didn't think it was gonna be, but I'm glad it's getting some respect.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Okay.
Okay, great.
Um,
That's a great
fourth,
card.
yeah. So shout out to George. Fourth member of the national first team is Henry Rowan Gardner from the movie Rookie of the Year.
Okay.
You haven't seen it? You haven't seen it?
I've seen Rookie of the Year, but I have to look up this guy.
Henry Rowan Gardner's the pitcher. He's also the actor in American Pie.
Okay. Oh, the kid.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, the little
What's the
kid.
actor's
Okay.
name? I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah. Okay. The little Cubs kid who gets the what happens to him, and then all of a sudden he can just throw it.
He breaks his arm, then he could throw fast. But I really should have said Tom. I really should have said Thomas Ian Nicholas. He's the actor who plays Henry Rowan Gardner in Rookie of the Year.
So
And
they just made three names for both of the guys.
yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
Anyway, the actor Thomas Ian Nicholas. Some might know him from American Pie. Some might know him from Rookie of the Year. So I'm with my college buddy who I spent the night with. When was it? Thursday night. I got to meet his kids for the first time. He lives in a suburb of Chicago. We had such a
Okay.
good time together. So I stayed with him for a night, and the next day he drove me to National, and we walked the floor together.
Okay.
One of
Awesome.
my best friends from college, diehard Knicks fan, like one of my regulars who I chat Knicks with,
Hmm.
and he really got the full national experience with me. We did some Knicks value boxing. He watched one of my buddies close like an $18,000 deal, so he saw a little
Whoa.
bit of everything. We saw some of the nicest cards in the room, like the Jordan Kobe dual logo man that's up for auction right now. But anyway, point is, we go to the autograph pavilion just to check it out, and we turn the corner, and there's Thomas Ian Nicholas, the actor from Rookie of the Year. So
Hmm.
my buddy Andrew is like, "Oh my God, like, should I get an autograph?" I'm like, I guess. I
Wait,
mean,
did
like,
he recognize him right away?
right away. Oh, sorry. I should have been a little more clear. He wasn't with the regular autograph pavilion. He kind of had his own little booth there, the actor, where you can come over and like
Okay,
get things. Yeah,
because
yeah,
this guy
yeah.
is so recognizing him as a kid versus an adult is a little
Yes.
difficult. But okay, so
I should have provided more context. He had his own booth set up there.
wow, for autographs or he was doing.
For autographs and pictures, and he had
Okay,
some of his like merch and memorabilia on display. So my
gotcha.
buddy's like, "Should I get like an autograph? It's like $60." I'm like, "I guess." Like, do you like Rookie of the Year? He's like, he says to me, he's like, "Craig, every single Christmas growing up, we would wake up at 6:30 in the morning, and my parents would not let us watch open presents till 8:30. So every single year for about 10 years, during those 2 hours, my brother and I would watch Rookie of the Year." I'm like, "Well, then Andrew, you
Wow.
you have to go meet him and get his autograph." So
So
that was
he's his rookie of the year every year.
yeah. So
What? That's not a Christmas movie. What a strange. Did he say why he chose to do that?
I guess it just starts one year and then it becomes a tradition. So the fact
Okay.
that we turned the corner, my buddy's with me, he happens to see him. That was a
Yeah.
really fun moment.
Yeah.
So I got to capture that. So that was cool.
Wow.
Um,
What was his reaction like when he got to meet him?
he was just like I wouldn't say starstruck, but he was like it was a cool moment. Like he enjoyed it. It was a special moment for him as well. He got to tell his brother about it afterwards and all that.
How did it compare to a guy who I don't think will
Mike
make this?
Piazza.
Yes, Mike Piazza, last year's first team All National selection.
Um, Nothing will ever compare to that. That was so funny.
Can you refresh people on Mike Piazza?
Funny enough, I actually ran into the Fanatics employee whose name I'm not going to mention,
Yeah,
who hooked it up last year
yeah.
when
I know you told me.
when Mike Piazza was at the Fanatics booth taking pictures with people, and I didn't see the line at all. And I just walked right up to him because I saw someone I knew from Fanatics. I'm like, "Hey, what's up?" I'm like, "Oh shoot, is that Mike Piazza?" And I just accidentally cut the whole line and started talking to him for like 2 minutes. And I
Right?
didn't realize until after the fact there was a huge line, and I just cut everybody.
Yes, that was epic.
Anyway, national first team, fifth member Scott, who we interviewed last year, the founder of the SoCo soccer event,
Yes, yes. Okay.
solely because the SoCo event was just awesome. And I was able to go on the Friday night. And, being a soccer person myself, walking into the event, I just felt so like at home and it was very comforting. I felt like I was around my own people for sure. And he did it bigger and better than last year. It was at an indoor soccer facility, so the tables were actually on the fields. I got to play in the tournament for a little bit and he just puts on a great event. And
Yeah.
I honestly did some of my best buying and selling at the SoCo event, not even just soccer cards, but yeah, super cool event. Great job. Shout out Scott, SoCo. Only going to keep growing.
Yeah, Scott's great. And just the second year of the event, I heard, and he was talking about on, again, Big Ken's podcast, Sports Card Lessons, previewing the SoCo and talking about how much bigger and better it was going to be. And so what was better specifically about the SoCo?
It was more spaced out than last year. It was cool that it was in a soccer facility, and it was just more people, more vendors than the year prior. Simple as that.
And that soccer event, how did you do competing as a
Ooh,
as a former Division III soccer player?
we weren't great. I joined the team, but it was cool. Got to compete a little bit. It wasn't the best showing for our team. I did my thing.
Okay. And then
I did my
that
thing.
and then unfortunately I heard you talk about how you took the elbow from that kid,
Oh yeah.
not at the national, right? It was afterwards. And you're
Yeah.
and you're still on the mend from a little mark on the eye.
Little elbow to the broken nose. It is what it is. We live to tell the tale. All right.
Wow.
Two honorable mentions for the national.
Oh,
All,
please
all
tell
na
me, please tell me it's one of the guys who I want you to talk about.
No,
No?
is it who he texted about?
Mr. No Subscribe
Yeah,
from
nah,
last year?
he's not worthy of the energy.
Oh
Van,
no. Oh no.
Vanson, who's from the Bay Area,
Yes, Vanson. I
Vanson.
I know Vanson.
Because when I was trying to meet up with him, it was literally the same exact time that I met up with George for the first time from Australia. So
Mm.
like the three of us just like converged together at once on the top floor. And Vanson came with a gift. It was a Latrell Sprewell autograph, but
Wow.
it showed him in both his Warriors and in his Knicks uniform on the same card. So it's like a connection between Vanson and I because he's a Warriors fan from the Bay
Oh,
Area.
wow. That's so
Yeah,
thoughtful.
super thoughtful. Very cool. Very
Wow,
cool.
that's great. Good job, Vanson.
Yeah.
Fellow
And then
math teacher, right?
hell yeah, you know it. So last honorable mention is Josh, who on Instagram is JL Mesh and Maple. We'll like show the cards here and there, but he was at National and like how often does someone like take a picture and say like, hey, look, I found this card. I don't exactly remember where the table is, but it was like approximately here and there. And then like
Yeah.
you actually find it, you actually close the deal. Like doesn't usually happen. But he sent me a picture on the last day there, and he's like, this is approximately where it is. He gave me the name and like the road number, and I happened to find it. And he knows what I like, and I was able to close the deal on a patch Rick Ewing card.
Oh, nice. Yeah, Patrick. That's right.
Yeah.
Great
Triple
patches.
triple Patrick Ewing patch from National Treasures 2015-16. So shout out to Josh for hooking that up there. I actually have another copy of this card, which is right here,
Uh-oh, you're starting again.
who I got this card from Steven, who's Diverse Collector on Instagram, who I'm sure
Yes.
you know, who I was able to meet in person for the first time this year. So he's like, friend of the program.
Yes. Wow. So are you
Whew.
going to try to now, because you have what do you have? Five of the Bernard King, Walt Frazier patch autos?
Yeah,
Are
but I'm
are,
not.
are you going to try that with Patrick Ewing now with since you already
Nah,
have two of those?
this is just a coincidence.
Okay, until you
Yeah,
see one on eBay and then you're like, might as
sure.
well.
Valid. I feel bad I've been talking this whole time. I mean,
You went to the National.
I guess. I mean,
I'm
did I
excited
paint
to
the
listen.
pic? I hope I painted the picture good enough there. It was just a good time. My only regret I will say from the National, if I have one, is I came away with a lot of cool new Knicks cards for the PC. But every year I like to try to come away with like one nice big card that I look at it as a more of a long-term investment.
Yeah.
Last year was a George Mikan patch. The year before that was the Kylian Mbappe, that Prism Blue,
Yep.
which I ended up selling at Fanatic Fest. We could talk about later. And I didn't really come away with any like bigger card, but that's fine. I made enough flips to pay for the trip and some. So all good stuff.
Oh, that's great, bro.
Yeah.
Well,
Oof.
should I I know. Thank you for elaborating
Ah,
there.
yeah. I hope that was
I,
entertaining enough.
as you take a sip of water, I'm going to go to, speaking of a PC card, I'm going to go to, I think this is now my favorite card in my collection. And I got it all the way from New Zealand. I got it after picking up, oh, let me find that JJ Redick. I don't know if you've seen my JJ Redick. Oh, my star patch. Did you see that one?
I did see that. I see you've done some JJ Redick consolidating.
Yes, and I've actually, it's funny because when I was starting collecting JJ Redick, faithful viewers and listeners of Crosstown Cardboard will know he was not a popular guy to collect because he had a 15-year career, yes, but for the most part he was a shooter, role player, obviously great career at Duke, leading the country in scoring, right up there with Adam Morrison. But other than that, he had kind of just been an NBA veteran, and so why would you really go collecting him unless you like these somewhat average sized white guys who defy the odds? But I liked him because of his podcast that he had, um, the young man in the three, or the old man in the three. Excuse me.
Old man, yeah. Great
Now it's the
podcast.
now it's the young man in the three because young
Duncan,
hosts
yeah.
are coming on in place of JJ. Obviously, becoming he had a 1 or 2 week run on Mind the Game with LeBron as his co-host,
Yeah,
and
right.
and then became his coach. So, but
Crazy.
now looking because it was interesting because I was pricing the JJ cards for the shows that I was setting up at when I was consolidating my PC, which really happened after I got this card that I'm talking about. And the value of his cards has gone up way up because of becoming the Lakers coach and then becoming in the spotlight all the time and lots of interest and probably realizing, hey, he actually was a great player, a great role player in the NBA. But so it's been cool to see that rise and unexpected because I was just collecting him for fun. So cool when something like that happens. And so I've been successfully selling quite a few JJ cards for a profit now because of that increase in price. But that all happened after I got this one, Craig, this star patch auto, JJ Redick from the Philadelphia 76ers uniform, game used. And if you know the star on the 76ers uniform, it's going down like the armpit to the waist on the rib
Sure.
cage area. So to get a game used star, this one is numbered out of 25, but it's tough to value. It's almost like a one of one when you have the star patch like that.
Sure. Where'd you get it?
So really cool. I got it from a guy on Instagram. His name, I'll find it for you. But the reason I'm bringing that up is because this led me to the Larry Bird card that I ended up getting. So his name is sportscard_inscriptions on Instagram. And so you can guess what my Larry Bird card is based on that title. But that's who I got this JJ Redick star patch auto from. And he circled back to me knowing that I had collected JJ Redick cards. And we had talked about this card in particular before because I was like, what a patch. And, that's one of the best JJ Redick cards I've ever seen. So he sent that to me circling back because at the time we didn't make a deal, probably about a year ago. He came back, remembered I was interested in the card, and then sold it to me. And so I bought that card, and then he said, I think he sent me a story of the guy who was selling the card that I ended up getting. And he passed it along to me, and it was this card that I ended up getting, which is this 2010 Panini Hall of Fame Larry Bird Hall of Fame monikers auto with the inscription Larry Legend on the bottom, numbered out of 10. And so one
Sick.
deal that was like a year in the making and then connected me. So the sports card inscription guy, coincidentally or ironically, was not the one who I bought the inscription from. It was the guy who sports card inscriptions connected me with, who happened to have the Larry Bird inscription.
Well, if your name's inscriptions, you know inscription people. That's a given.
Right. Exactly. So he's pretty much, and if you look at his page, like I said, sports card underscore inscriptions, he's got a lot of awesome inscriptions, like all different guys and players of all different sports. It's pretty amazing, and he is not keen on letting them go, which is awesome that he wants to keep them in his collection. But once in a while, when he offloads them, it seems like he looks for other collectors. So that's why the JJ Redick card was what he wanted to connect me with.
The bird, though, that's sick.
Yeah. So then so right after the JJ, he's like, oh yeah, and by the way, this guy, Cardboard Collector 21, has this Larry Bird for sale. And I said, oh my gosh, this combines my two loves, Craig, as you know. Larry
Yeah,
Bird,
it's true.
the love of Larry Bird as my main PC guy, and my other PC, which is Inscriptions. So if you have the Larry Bird and Larry Legend, that's the best of both worlds right there. So it took a while to get this deal done. Understandably, Sean is the guy's name from New Zealand. And I ended up trading.
Oh, you did a trade to New Zealand.
I did, yes, but he had a ship my
You,
cards account.
U.S. address. Okay, yeah, I got you.
Yeah, so thankfully, so that saved me a lot on shipping. These, you know what, and I have to give, especially, we know we love collectors from Australia and New Zealand, especially with basketball. It's so big over there. But I also want to commend any people doing business from international that ship cards here because they take a big hit every single time. You know, $50, $60, $70 shipping. And we kind of take for granted that we can ship for 4, 5, $10, however much it is for you. So thank you guys, the international sellers to the US for and sometimes, you know, I'll split the shipping sometimes and things like that, but just glad they don't stop doing deals in the US because there's so many great cards all across the world. Even though the episode of this one is hobbying around the country, it really should be, I guess, hobbying around the world. Maybe we'll make an amendment. We'll see.
I mean, I did hang out with George from Australia. You're talking about a deal from Zealand. We could change it,
All right.
hobbying around the world. It's a
All right.
little misleading, but we'll talk about it later.
Okay, we'll talk about it. So Greg, I so I traded, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 cards.
Damn.
12 cards, which is shocking for a card of this rarity, and I'll get into that in a second.
No cash involved?
$2,000 cash,
Wow, okay.
along with $3,500 trade value in the form of 12 cards. And we could talk a little bit more about this of like how we possibly valued this. But I'll tell you the cards that I traded first. I'll show you. If you're watching on the YouTube, you can see it's really all over the place. It's a Bill Russell game used jersey, Magic Johnson Exquisite auto, Chris Paul Ultimate Collection rookie auto, and a BGS 9.5, a George Gervin rookie auto from the 70s. Also got a Dennis Rodman sneaker swatch auto with a game used piece of the sneaker. Magic Johnson flawless patch. Here you can see if you're watching on the YouTube. LeBron James Upper Deck Premier game used jersey.
I like that one.
Uh, you also, yeah, that's cool. You also have a Dennis Rodman rookie Fleer auto with the Hall of Fame inscription. A Robert Parrish rookie auto in the Golden State Warriors uniform. Shout out to Vanson as well. John Stockton 2005 SP game used jersey autograph. Kawhi Leonard rookie game used patch, which you don't always find, of course, on rookie stuff. So that was cool. And another John Stockton optic autograph numbered out of 25. So, Craig, 12 cards valuing at $3,500 trade value plus $2,000 cash for this inscription, Larry Bird, Larry Legend.
That's
But, you know,
crazy.
of course, when it was a huge card, right around the same value that I'm into my flawless one of one Bird patch auto that I got at the first national that we were at together, now 3 nationals ago. So it's right around a $5,000 what I'm into it. I'm actually into this new one, which is a really big card for me. $4,675 is what I'm into it because in the 3,500 trade, I was into that for about 26.75. So if you look at it that way, I saved myself about $800, and
Like it.
that's what you do to try to rationalize a $5,000 piece of cardboard purchase.
Amazing. I like
So
that.
yeah, so it was a crazy deal. It took probably 3 or 4 days of like pretty frequent communication to send Sean all my cards. Okay, which ones do you like? You know, valuing, discussing that, and so thanks to Sean from New Zealand for when two people want to get a deal done and they're like motivated to do it, it really helps out and
Yep.
active responses and stuff like that. So now let me just tell you why would I uh, be into this card for 4,500 $5,000? Well, like I mentioned, it's the best of both worlds for me. Larry Bird, Larry Legend with Bird and the inscription. But Craig, there's only 10 in this set, right? Larry Bird only has one other notable nickname set, numbered out of 25, that he has Larry Legend on, to my knowledge. And if anybody else knows, please inform me on YouTube and podcast. But to my knowledge, there's only two sets where Larry Bird has ever done the Larry Legend inscription. The notable nicknames out of 25 and this 2010 Hall of Fame monikers out of 10. That means, and he doesn't sign it in person. I wonder what he would charge for that because, the fees for these rookie cards and specialty items and inscriptions is through the roof now. He does not sign Larry Legend in person. So that means there's only 35 total cards in two sets where you can get the Larry Legend inscription. Only one has sold in the last 5 years. It was this same card, but it was a PSA authentic instead of mine, which is a PSA 9 with a 10 auto. The PSA authentic also did have the 10 auto. So that card sold about 2 years ago. I think it was 22 or 2300 is what that one sold for. An authentic with the 10 auto. Mine being a PSA 9 with the 10 auto, plus factoring in the rarity. And basically, this guy can ask whatever he wants on a card like this. It takes somebody who really wants it bad enough like me to go after it. That's why he valued it at 5,500. So, like two and a half times what the last one that was an authentic sold for. So, really up for interpretation there. But what do you think about that value? I mean, what can you say? What can you
I
do?
mean, I'm on card ladder right now trying to find his other like inscriptions, and I'm not really seeing much. And what I like about yours and what I'm curious about the notable nicknames is I like with yours, he signed his name and Larry Legend.
Yes.
That's super unique. And the fact that that was pulled from a pack, yeah, I mean, for you, it's perfect. That's your perfect card.
Yeah, so when I got sent it, I couldn't believe that. I was like, I don't think I've ever even seen this card. And to be a Larry Bird collector and an inscription collector to have this happen, it's my new profile picture on Instagram, put it like that. So,
Rightfully so. I'm happy for you.
yeah, thanks, bro.
I'm,
I was trying to tell my girlfriend how cool this card was,
I respect it.
and
Yes.
she can't possibly understand,
Listen,
but
if you know,
we
you
tried.
know. It's as simple as that.
Yeah. So anyway, best PC card for me right now, and I'm pretty happy about it.
Well, I guess that would be, yeah, I mean, I'm happy for you. You're going to keep that one. I hope you do. And I saw you had the
Yes.
101 Flawless out at a show recently. You could talk about that later if you
No,
want.
not the flawless. I had the one of
Different one?
one. It was a one of one immaculate
Okay.
patch. The
Gotcha.
flawless is two. I just know that these two right now, along with my triple rookie autograph with Bird, Magic, and Dr. J 1980s tops is are my three like in that level. And then I have a bunch of others that I really like involving
Yes.
Bird. But yeah, I recently did take a few out of my PC and put them in the showcase at high prices for like what they're worth on paper, but when you add in what I would part with them for, it's got to be a pretty decent profit, like at least two or three, $400 on like an $700 or $800 PC card to part with it. But I'm just like, especially it was almost like with the JJ after I got the Star Patch auto. After I got the Bird inscription auto with the Larry Legend, I'm like, okay, now I can go through some of my other birds that I'm not as crazy about and consider letting those go.
Yes.
So that's basically what I did. I put a clutch factor National Treasures patch auto in my showcase. Here, I'll pull out some of the
Yeah, you you you
birds.
you consolidate, you want the best.
Yeah, so like I got this Ultimate Achievements that I put in my recent showcase, bird auto.
You won't miss that now that you have the one that you got.
That's a great way to
Okay.
look at it. Here's the Immaculate. You probably saw the one of one
I'm a
patch.
fan. I'm a fan of that card.
And I'm pretty sure this is the warm up. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but because it has the yellow in it, and the Celtics jerseys, to my knowledge, only had the green and white. So I think if it had the yellow in it, it was part of the warm up, which is kind of cool and unique. And then,
eBay card, the 101, maybe?
yeah, maybe, but it's like, do I want to put that on eBay? Like, I don't want to really sell it. That
I
I
feel
don't
you.
really
I
want to
feel you.
sell it that bad. I'm just like, you know what I
You
mean?
you like to have it at shows, conversation starters. You can look at it, yada yada
That's
yada.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah,
okay,
yeah,
okay,
yep.
okay.
The yada yada part is why I'm not putting it on eBay. So then I got this colossal National Treasures patch auto with part of the S. So you know I like the letter patches. So
Who doesn't?
and then another kind of similar Clutch Factor National Treasures patch auto. This one's from early National Treasures, or at least Panini era, 2015. So that's these are, I mean, you don't see these really pop up with the letter. So it's like, but I can't hoard them all, and I gotta get some cash back from a bigger. But thank God I was able to use mostly trade, or else I would have never been able to afford like 5,500 cash, boom. But 3,500
Yeah,
trade, where I can make up like 825 in value, and then add 2,000 cash. That makes me much more comfortable. So
yeah. I get the feeling. I get
yeah,
it.
yeah. So there you
Um,
go.
I'm gonna get into the weeds with some cards now. You ready for this?
Okay, let's do it.
Okay. So if you had to draw up like my ideal trading card of a modern player, like what you know me well enough, what is it?
Flawless Jalen Brunson game used patch auto.
Exactly, right? Jersey number.
Oh yeah, yeah. There it is.
You know me too. And the jersey number, 11 out of 15, right? So I had this one already.
Yep, jersey
This is
number
fr
would be the final thing I would
That's
add.
it. This is my perfect card. So this is from 2022-23 Flawless.
Okay.
That was his first year with the Knicks.
Okay.
So I saw this card pop up on eBay and I didn't really feel like fishing out that much cash. So I actually used a service called Fund Your Cards. Maybe you've seen them before.
Yes.
They front the cash for you and you just owe them a 10% fee. So if you buy a card for 1500, which is basically what this is, the comp is there, it's not a secret. They charge you that extra 10%, so an extra 150 on top.
Hmm.
So basically I owe him 1650 and I send him my cards and he sells the cards that makes up the funds.
Yes. I've seen it. I've seen it
I'm sure.
on Instagram. Now, let me just real quick before you get into the card. How do you guys like discuss what the value is of what you're trading him, or is it like
Good
it
point.
has to have a comp? Like, how does that work?
That's a good point. It varies case to case, but anything 200 or over, he'll try to sell privately, and anything less, will just go to auction. So I sent them a few like lower end stuff that will just go to like a consignment on eBay. Like I don't really care what it gets. The
Yeah.
other things, yes, I wrote some notes like here's what I'm hoping to get, here's what the least amount I'm willing to take, and yeah, I'm excited to see the process play through. But the cool
Wow,
thing
that's cool.
is he
That's
just
cool.
clicks buy it now on eBay and buys the card for me, so it's secured, and hopefully I can make up all the funds with the cards I gave him. But even if I'm a few $100 short, then you can just pay it out in cash.
Ah, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So you saw the card I got, the Brunson flawless patch auto from 2022-23 jersey number out of 15. So I had to pair it with the
Oh,
2023
wow.
Brunson patch auto jersey
Oh
number
my
11 out of 15.
wow.
Same
That
card,
patch
bro.
is nasty too.
Same exact card, 2 years apart. Or sorry, like consecutive years. Both out of 15, both jersey number. It's, I mean, come on, both in the dark blue uniform.
Wow.
How am I not going to pair those together?
This episode just burst into flames. Wow. That's a great
And
card.
yeah, so I got this
Yeah,
to pair with his younger brother.
right. That
So
patch
cool.
is
So
crazy.
thick, right?
I mean, yeah, you have to go for
Hold
that.
on, let's get a little zoom in on the patch there.
Wow.
What? Yeah. So I don't have it in hand yet, and someone who I know who uses service describes it as a slow trade, right? Because it doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
and he's got other clients to work with, but like eventually it will be mine. So excited.
That sounds like what I do anyway for my PC cards, like the Bird. Remember the one that I talked about on the last episode, the Magic and Bird Ultimate Collection Dual Auto, and that took over a month to get worked out. So
True.
that's what it takes a lot of times on these
Yeah.
PC cards anyway. So, you know,
I
but
mean, how cool is
wow,
that? Same
I did.
card, 2 years
Yeah,
apart. Yeah,
it's
hyped about
amazing.
that. Yeah.
You really can't make. So you saw that card on eBay, and then
But
we're like, I just have to get it.
yeah, exactly. And it was like kind of high-ish. His
Yeah.
flawless patch autos are maybe selling more in like the 800 to 1,000 range,
Wow,
but
so that's a lot. That's a lot higher. No?
800 to fit 1,200, let's call it. But you're paying
Okay.
a premium for the jersey number, and I think I had to. Like I had the other one, like I had to get that card. 1,500, I mean, six more, let's just call it 17 after all the fees and everything is
Yeah.
not that much of an overpay, and it really like using the service, like it feels less like the money's coming out of your pocket when you could use mostly cards to fund it. So that's
Right.
kind of, and I'm into the cards for like good prices too. So that's another way you could look at it.
Right.
So
Exactly.
ultimately, I'm not going to be into it for 1,700. So yeah, no
Right.
brainer. Have to do it.
Wow. I did not. That was a total
Cool, right?
surprise.
Yeah.
So good
And I
for
got
you.
the Brunson Rainbow
Oh
now,
yeah. Yeah. Talk about that.
fully graded, 9 for 9, all the die cuts. And I just want to talk about how like PSA and grading is just such a joke. Like I, the last four I needed to grade, and these are the most common: orange out of
Yeah.
65,
Yeah.
purple out of 99, maroon out of 175, and blue out of 249. And for context, this is the 2022 Select Jalen Brunson full rainbow, 9 for 9. This is the die cut version. There's 9 variations of the die cut. The non-die cut, has 35 parallels. Ain't
Wow.
nobody got time for that.
Yeah. So you went
Anyway,
you went you went with the nine lives approach instead.
exactly. And whatever. I like the die cut's cool. Brunson's got his pose, whatever. So the last four were all I got them raw on eBay because I can't have like 5 of them graded and 4 of them not. That just doesn't look good. Now I got a nice like, even stack here. But the
Right.
fact that I bought those four all on eBay separately, raw, and there's die cut, right? So like with the die cut card, there's a ton of corners and edges.
Yeah.
I bought them four separate from eBay. I didn't look them over at all. I didn't clean them.
At
I
all.
just
Not at all.
at all. I'm like, I don't care what these grade. I just need them
Right.
all in PSA slabs. Like nothing.
Right.
Penny sleeve, card saver, PSA, 4 for 4 in the tens. Like there's no logic to that. It
Four for
doesn't make
four on the die cut. I mean, of any card is ridiculous, 4 for 4, but for them to be die cut is even crazier.
yeah. So what is grading? It's
So
all
we're
it's subjective, but it's pretty cool because of the 9, 6 of them are 10. So I could technically upgrade 2 of them. I can't upgrade the black 101, but yeah,
right.
boom.
Okay, great point. Wow, good for you. 10 out of 10.
Yes. Well, no. What's 10 out of 10?
Well, I was kind of going with like 10 out of 10. Like I'm grading. I'm so happy for you. It's like a 10 out of 10 experience, but
Uh,
it was a little misleading. There's only nine
there's 9 of
parallel
them. You
and
could,
a
yeah.
PSA 10. Yeah, I got a little
I
sorry.
gotcha. I
It was
gotcha.
like a double. It was too much of a double entendre.
Yes.
That was incorrect.
I do have one card that is a long-term hold, but for the sake of a little more back and forth, I want to hear about your experiences setting up.
Yes,
And
thankfully.
then I do want to get to this card because this is the most I've spent on a card in a long time. So we'll
Okay.
get to it.
Okay. Wow.
Okay.
Wow. I did not know you were. I knew you were making moves. I didn't know they were that great. So.
But talk to me about your experiences because of all these shows I've been to, I didn't set up. You have set up, so just give it to me.
Yeah. So I set up at three shows since we last recorded. I set up at the Carolina Card Show in Columbia, South Carolina. I set up at the Haywood Mall Show in Greenville, South Carolina. And then just this past weekend, I set up at the Augusta Card Fest in Augusta, Georgia, which is why I'm wearing the Masters gear. Shout out to Augusta National. And I got to cover my first Masters this past April. So that was awesome. The Augusta Card Fest, I'll talk about that more because it just happened. Um, awesome foot traffic. I did not know what to expect going into that show. And this kind of goes to show you that you got to experience things for yourself and try stuff, which we always advocate for. Because somebody had told me at the Carolina Card Show where I sold them my Kobe Bryant Ultimate Collection, Ultimate Signatures 0304 autograph in a PSA 8. and I made like $400, a little bit more than $400 on it, which was great. And it was still like 90% for them. So it worked out really well, or 85% around there. There had been some recent sales that were higher. But anyways, the person who was telling me that is a higher end, card collector, like at least four figures is what they buy and flip. So for him, as a patron of the Augusta Card Show, he was telling me, "Oh, there's not that many big cards in the room. It's not really worth it. This and that." That was from his perspective as somebody who's looking for those four-figure cards. But I'm like, okay, I'll take that one opinion into account, but I got to see if I can try this for myself. So I went and set up as a dealer, and that was not my experience at all because I was not him. I had different goals of trying to sell mostly three-figure cards and two-figure. I have a few four-figure. So that just goes to show you to experience it for yourself. But shout out to Frank, one of the showrunners of CardFest Promotions, which they do shows in Augusta, Savannah, and North Augusta, all in Georgia. And I emailed him because I found out my girlfriend was going to be out of town. I knew this show was coming up, and I'm like, perfect opportunity. Now I don't even have to haggle with her. I can haggle with the customers, hopefully, but I don't have to haggle with her to see, okay, are you all right with me going for the weekend because college football is coming up and I'm going to be going crazy traveling with Clemson football. So I'm not going to have free weekends. So then she could be like, oh, you're going to go away on one of our final free weekends. So I didn't have to do that. So I emailed CardFest Promotions, and Frank got back to me. He's like, "Oh, we don't have any." 'Cause I wanted two tables. He's like, "We don't have any tables right now, but
Two.
I'll let you know." Yeah, and they advertised it as a 90 table show. So I'm like, maybe a week out they have some tables still, but probably unlikely. So he said, "No, we don't have any tables." So then I said, "All right, well, let me know." Well, he said, "I'll put you on the wait list." I said, "Let me know, but text or call me because I'll check that faster than email." So he texted me the next day and he said, "We have, which is Thursday, the day, or no, I'm sorry, Friday, the day before the show,
1 day show.
1 day show."
Okay.
And he said, "We have one table available." I'm like, well, it doesn't really make sense for me to. I text him back like 30 minutes later. It doesn't make that much sense for me. It's a 2.5 hour drive each way.
One table's 8 feet?
6 feet. So we had a 6 footer. I'm like,
That's you could do a lot of damage,
I
but
could.
proceed,
I don't
proceed.
want to. I want to seem like a big timer, but I was like, it's like a 2.5 hour drive each way. It's a lot of
Okay.
driving. Wake up
Go
real
on.
early. So, but anyway, then I
Diva
text
over
him
here.
back. He's like, oh, we just got a second table open. I was like, yes, Frank, I'm in. And then I had to find a babysitter for my dog to let her out in the
Oh,
middle of the day
yeah.
because now I'm watching Marley here. Vivica's fine. She doesn't need too much tending to as a cat. So my neighbor Kathy came through clutch. She could get Marley out, let her go potty in the middle of the day. I was like, perfect.
That's
Did I
why they call her Clutch Kathy. As everyone
clutch
calls her
Kathy?
that. Yeah.
Yes. Did I accept the tables before having a babysitter? Yes. Did I tell my girlfriend that? No. So let's just keep that between us. So anyway, so that was just crazy that I even got two tables to set up there as the point. And drove 2.5 hours, woke up at 4:40 in the morning, left at 5:50 in the morning, got there just after 8 o'clock, had about 45 minutes to set up before the show started at 9. Which is why I was like, I need two tables because I got to wake up at 4:40 in the morning.
What'd you do for an hour and 10 minutes before you left?
I had to make breakfast, make lunch, take Marley out. I had to move all my showcases into my trunk,
Okay.
move
Fair
my
enough.
cards
Fair
into the
enough.
car.
Fair enough.
I had to take a shower. I mean, I had to
Okay.
pick out my outfit. I'm sorry.
Go on, King.
So, okay, so let me get to the actual business. So, it was not the experience that I heard from the guy who bought my Kobe autograph at the Carolina Card Show. It was incredible. So many people are like starved for card shows down there, and they were telling me how successful they've been. There was foot traffic at every single table, like from 9 until 1 in the afternoon. Then it slowed down a little bit, but still a lot of people. Um, and it was spectacular. So uh, by the end of the day, I had had a lot of fun, great sports conversations, and a lot of people looking at my Masters badge, my 2019 Tiger Woods Masters badge. And also, once they said that, I pulled out my 1997 Tiger Woods first Masters badge, which wowed them even more than the 2019 final Masters badge because Augusta National and the Masters, as you can imagine, in Augusta, Georgia, is such an economic driver, and like everybody's, I mean, if your claim to fame is a peach festival in Georgia, it's a big deal. If your claim to fame is the Masters, I mean, imagine how much that does for the people in the area, the city, the commerce, and everything like that. So probably one out of every 7 or 8 people were wearing the Masters gear, and so they loved the badge. My final sales, Craig, I did $2,100 in sales, which I was impressed with. I didn't think this was going to be like a show where people were actively buying as much. I didn't know what to expect. $2,100 in sales, right around a $600 profit, which is right in my range of trying to get, between 20 and 30%. And it was about 28.5% profit. Gas was about, let me see, 100 miles, 20 miles to the gallon in my 2003 Buick LeSabre. I'm just trying to do a little financial
Amazing.
breakdown
I love
for
it.
you. And so 200 miles down and back total, 100 miles each. That's about 10 gallons of gas. So that's about $30, 40, let's say $40. So the table fee was 130 for 2 tables, so 170. I brought back 600, so I made a little over $400 by the end of the day, and had a lot of fun. And grind was on the card grind, bro. Waking
Yeah,
up
it
at
feels
4.
good.
I mean,
It feel
you feel good driving back that 2.5 hours.
it feels good to be when you say I haven't said it in a long time, but you're just in such a flow state for so long that you're just going. You're just going.
Yeah, yeah.
Your mind, you're just working. It's a
Right.
rush. It's like a 6 hour consistent dopamine hit, and it's amazing.
Yeah, it really is. And here's one of my showcases. You can't
Oh, I
really see
saw.
the cards in particular, but I did post it on my story. Second showcase, and then the third showcase, which was almost entirely tickets, but this was such an awesome conversation starter. That's another point that I can bring up from just setting up at 3 different card shows and being the only person who has probably any tickets, let alone a full showcase of them, and just the awareness that that's creating because at least a dozen people came up and said, "Oh, I didn't even know you could get tickets slabbed. I have Masters badges." One guy told me he's been to every Masters since 1997 at the Augusta Card Show. And I said, "That's a pretty good year to start because I was Tiger's first Masters win and the same badge that I had." The only other one would be to start in 1995, Tiger Woods' first appearance in the Masters, so his rookie Masters badge per se, and he was also the low amateur in 1995. So that's the next one I'm looking for, in addition to his first and last win. But people loved the tickets. Now they
Good.
didn't love them enough to spend money on them, which I told everybody. I said, the the interest level isn't as I mean clearly isn't as much as in cards, not even close, but it's also not enough to put your money out and spend cash on it because also people know it's more difficult to get your money back because tickets are not transacted like that. They're not as
Sure.
um, liquid as cards in general. So um, but great time. Gotta love the
Good.
card show. Everybody's positive, family atmosphere, making money. I mean, it's so many great things at the same time. So
I mean,
really appreciate
I've
that.
definitely between Fanatics Fest, the National. I went to the East Coast National at the Westchester County Center
Mm-hmm.
2 days
Yep.
ago, and just the overall vibe and sentiment is everyone's enjoying themselves right now. I'm really not hearing much negative talk from anyone, and
Yeah.
I respect that you stick to your tickets and the cards you like because I don't know about you, maybe I just noticed this walking around that we are surrounded by this world of uptowns and downtowns and buying at 90% and are you
And
selling?
wait, Crosstown, that's us. That hasn't caught on. That would be Uptown, Downtown, Crosstown, Cardboard. All right.
Crosstown. Nice,
Sorry. Sorry.
solid, solid. Yeah. But do you like I don't know if you're at all aware of this world of uptowns and
Oh, yeah.
downtowns and repackers and kids with the broccoli haircuts buying at 90%.
Broccoli. What is that? The Duke starting five haircut?
You know, every kid like 17 through
Right.
22 has like the same haircut.
Right.
Um,
Right.
just like quick flipping and it's almost like a whole it feels like it's like 80% of the room, but
Yeah.
not a part of the way I hobby and it just kind of just is what it is.
Yeah. And you're right. And that might be a way to get cash going more, be more liquid and flip faster. But like we've talked about a bunch of times on the podcast here, these are like our interim collections that we like to sell because if we don't sell them, we still like them while we have them. We're not panicking. Oh my gosh, I can't sell this card. And also, we get to enjoy the card for the time we have it. And it also is a representation of our personal style. You know, like
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
yeah, like it's our wardrobe, but through sports cards. And when Frank, the guy who, along with Kathy, was very clutch in getting me to two tables at Augusta Card Fest, he came up, he was taking pictures of my showcase, and he's like, dude, we need you to keep coming. We need fire like this in our showcases. I
Oh
was like,
yeah.
thank you, Frank. Thank you. That was big. That made me feel great because it's an expression of our sports fandom for what we put in our showcase, what we think is cool, and the moments, players, teams that we like to highlight. So that meant a lot. And then also, getting people collection cards. I sold a Ken Griffey Jr. 1989 Upper Deck rookie, one of his iconic rookie cards, autograph in a PSA 10 auto grade for 575 to a guy, and that was my biggest sale of the day. And he's like, "This is going to be going right in my collection." I'm like, "That's awesome." Now,
Love that.
the $115 profit felt better than him saying it was going into his collection, but that was like an added cherry on top. Obviously, we got to be honest here, but so that was really cool, and a lot of compliments on the tickets and showcase, even for not even if people didn't buy stuff. But oh, I sold my Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow made me about $150. I sold a tin.
Praise the Lord.
Yeah, yeah, right. I um I saw this guy. I noticed he was wearing a Florida Gators Tim Tebow jersey. I was like, dude, I have a card for you. He's like, oh, I'm already looking at it. He was like comping it out, and uh, and then he also bought the autographed baseball that I got at the Carolina Card Show from a guy because Tim Tebow, once upon a time when he was in the minors, played for the Columbia Fireflies, and that was where this guy got the ball, which he brought to the card show, the Carolina Card Show in Columbia, and he was telling me the story behind it. And he came up and he's like, "Hey, I got this Tim Tebow ball. I got it signed myself. And would you buy it?" And I said, "I can't really take the risk. I mean, I know you seem like an honest guy." He told me the story. He's like, "Tim Tebow was signing this for me at the Columbia Fireflies game during a rain delay." I was like, "What a freaking nice guy to add on to, his faith, how nice he seems, how caring he seems to be, and all the public speaking engagements he does promoting like Christian fellowship of Christian athletes, things like that." I'm like, wow, what a guy to be mobbed at the time, media coverage, a lot of negativity. Like, why is this guy trying baseball? Be signing autographs in a rain delay. I was like, that's cool. I said, go over to the JSA booth at the Carolina Card Show, get this authenticated, and I'll pay you $80 for it. He's like, cool. So he went over, got it authenticated. I had that great story to add to the baseball, which had a Columbia Fireflies logo on it, and I priced it at 150 after I bought it at 80, and somebody who was a collector of it bought that for about probably 130, 140. So I made a quick 50, $60 on the baseball.
You take
And
that.
and it was two shows later. So it took, about a month or a month and a half. But with stuff like that, that's why I'm saying to have it in the interim collection, we think it's cool while we have it. If I didn't sell that Tim Tebow baseball, I'm fine with it because I think it's got that local connection. It's cool. And so the guy with the Tim Tebow jersey at the Augusta Card Fest bought both the Florida Gators Prism autograph I had in a PSA 10 and the Tim Tebow ball. And off of those two items, I made 150, which was great. And great for him too. He was hyped. I mean, obviously he came for Tim Tebow stuff. He was wearing his jersey. So
It is.
uh,
It's
great.
satisfying to flip something when it's not all the same ultra modern stuff. It's more of a unique item, right? Like
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure I was the only one in the room in White Plains at the Westchester County Center, the East Coast National, looking for game worn patches from the mid 2000s. But
Yeah.
like you said, when I have that out of the table, it's a good representation of me. But with all
Right.
that,
Yeah.
I do like, I did an audit of my collection recently, and about 98% of my collection's value is stuff that stays at home, and maybe 1 to 2% value-wise is like what I take with me to shows and such.
Okay.
So I really always try to aim when I go to a big show to try to take something home that I see as like, this is staying home, this is a long-term um, hold, basically.
Right. Right.
See the value in this. So this is a 2007, 2008. I got this from Fanatics Fest.
Okay.
LeBron Jordan dual game worn jersey numbered out of 23, and it's numbered 6 out of 23, which is
Oh.
little LeBron Olympic, Bron Heat.
Yep.
Yeah. So now what's cool about this is
Wow,
because
that's sweet.
there's levels to this. Is I don't know if you used to watch box breaks of Exquisite basketball back in the day on YouTube.
No, no.
They came in these nice, big rectangular prism like wood boxes that you would open up, and then there was a pack inside. And that year, actually, some of those boxes were signed. So
Yes.
you can get a box that was like signed by Jordan. You can get a box that was signed by LeBron, and there were 23 boxes signed by both Jordan and LeBron,
Wow.
and they were hand numbered to 23. This dual jersey card, obviously game worn,
Yeah.
could only be found in the double signed boxes from '07, '08
Wow.
Exquisite.
Wow.
There's levels to that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
that makes it so much cooler.
And you know what? Yeah, they're single color jerseys, but it's LeBron and Jordan. It's game used. It's exquisite. Like, come on
Yeah.
now.
And it's 6 out of 23 with a dual jersey number.
Yeah, the 6/23 is pretty cool. And you know what? I saw this and like when I looked into it, I'm like, I'm sure most people see this don't understand the levels, the depths. I
Did
love
you
getting it.
did you already know that about the signed box, the dual signed
Yeah,
boxes that had to come out of that box?
I knew about the dual sign boxes. I quickly realized that this came from those. I didn't know that when I first saw it. But then
Yeah.
when I learned that, I'm like, oh, I got to find a way to get this. And it's an expensive card, like for me, to my standards. You know, this
Yeah.
was I want to say they had it priced at 3,500.
Wow.
And I offered 3,000, and I think we ended up settling at like 32. And then like, but after like PayPal fees, cash, whatever, ended up because he needed to net a certain amount, ended up basically costing me like 3,300. And I'm just not in the position. Like I got a child on the way. You know, I'm not like fishing out 3,300 bucks.
Right.
So I did some good selling at Fanatics Fest. I had my 2018 Prism Mbappe, the blue that I got 2 nationals ago.
Yes.
I was super excited about that. I held that card for 2 years.
Yep.
I was able to liquidate that, and I lost a little on it, but whatever. I was able to get 2,000 cash out of it,
Wow.
so I was able to take that, and that went right to this purchase in addition to other cash that I brought. So like I didn't have to like go into my bank account,
Wow.
and
Good for you, bro. That's
I'm
amazing.
way I'm
You were able to get that cash so quickly.
That's what I'm saying. It helps to have friends. I got a buddy Josiah who bought the Mbappe from me, and I was actually I made the deal with him at Ryan Philly Cards 25's table.
Oh, that's great.
I had just sold a few cards to Ryan, friend of the program,
Yes.
recurring guest. Josiah was right behind me, and I was able to liquidate. And yeah, like this is just so unique, and it's a perfect card for me. It's exquisite LeBron Jordan game used comes from those exclusive boxes. Like, how could you go wrong? So this is one that I just don't bring to shows with me. You know, I could set
Yeah.
up at a show and have this, and like I'm sure it'll get attention and offers, but I see this as a long-term hold for me. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna hold on to this one.
especially when you have that story attached. The numbering, of course, LeBron and Jordan, but the story attached to it, I think, is the coolest part and probably biggest value add aspect of it, of being from those dual Jordan and LeBron signed exquisite boxes.
Yeah, man, I'm so excited about it.
Oh, good for you,
And
bro.
and that was the first night of Fanatics Fest, which it ran from like I want to say 10 to 6, and I was actually working on that Friday. And my school, my former school, was actually
Hmm.
close enough to Fanatics Fest where I leave work and I could walk to Fanatics Fest, which is like pretty epic. You know,
Wow.
people travel from around the world to go to it, and
Yeah.
I 15-minute walk from work to the Javits Center. That was pretty cool. So I only had a couple hours at the show on that Friday, so I was not expecting to make this big of a deal for me on that first night. So
Yeah.
everything else from there was gravy. So yeah, I really like this card a lot. I think it's super unique, and
Wow.
yeah, that's it.
That's a cool part of us spacing these episodes out more, that this might be, I think you would agree, the best card quality as far as maybe after the National. Remove that because after the National we had a lot of cool cards coming home. But we'll call it the regular season best card pickups of any show, I think, that we've had with the Bird, Inscription Auto, your Jalen Brunson, your Brunson Rainbow, your Jordan and LeBron dual jersey, my JJ Redick star patch.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you know what? I'm glad you say it like that because I find myself when I see people around me at shows making like huge purchases. Sometimes I'm like, damn, like I'm not on that level. But then when you take a step back and we like talk it through, like I think we're doing okay for ourselves.
Yeah, and it's stuff that we really like and enjoy. So that's the most. And I wish it was a little cheaper, but hey, what can you do? But the smart trading, liquidating that we did, I think that's also good to hopefully take into other people's collecting and like a strategy to get PC cards that eases that final number a little bit.
Yeah. And look, I think what I like about our podcast, I think we just represent the regular guy. So
Yeah,
like if we could just talk about real life, like I got a baby boy on the way in a few months. Like I'm not out here and daycare in New York City is very expensive. I can't be out here just, dropping stacks on cards that I want to either keep or maybe hopefully flip. So it forces us to be strategic and smart. And I think we're both pretty financially responsible when it comes to regular life and the hobby.
that's right, bro. And despite this hat, we do not claim to be the masters. So just the final takeaway there. But anyway, let's wrap this up. Craig, I know our time's running out. Any final comments here for episode 114?
We haven't really caught up in 2 months, so I'm just happy to hear that you're thriving in personal life, your professional life, in your card life. What more could you ask for?
I guess nothing. It's hobbying all over the country and doing life, as well. So
I'll be
and
in Clearwater, Florida this week on my baby moon, and there's a card
oh,
shop a mile walk from our hotel, and I already got permission from my better half that I can go. So
shout out to Rachel because you went on your honeymoon. Now you're gonna go on your baby moon.
yeah,
Two big occasions, and the wife is letting you go
yeah,
spend some time at the card shop.
unanimous first team, all hobby wives, no doubt.
Yeah, definitely. All right, bro. That was fun.
Yeah, um, yeah. Until next time,
Yep,
keep hobbying around the country.
that's right.
Peace.
Oh man, that was great.